Is an old saying about the two things none of us can escape in life: death and taxes. Both of those are dreaded. The first one, though, death, is what people fear most, and no one wants to go through it alone. Thanks for joining us at 6 tonight. I'm Brian Yacono.
And I'm Samantha York. Amanda Hill is off tonight. In Maine, there's a group trying to address that through a volunteer hospice program providing end-of-life care. Who these volunteers are and where they do their work, though, is why this is a news story. News Center Maine's Chloe Tipo joins us to explain. Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Samantha and Brian. Yeah, if you're sent to the Maine State Prison with a long sentence, there's a chance you will die there. Dying behind bars is something most of us never have to think about, but it begs an important question. Do people who have committed often violent crimes deserve a chance to die surrounded by compassion?
Fitted sheet.
James Love and Abdi Awad have been working as hospice volunteers for about 6 months. They strip sheets.
The tag goes to the end of the bed, so it'll be more comfortable for the patient.
Blast away bacteria and follow an on-call schedule, ready when they're needed to prioritize someone else. All of their work happens in the Maine State Prison.
When I put the shirt on, okay, take a breath. Nothing else matters at this moment. You're doing this.
Abdi says of all the places on this earth, it's behind bars where he has learned a life-changing lesson: selflessness.
So everything you do has nothing to do with you. This is for the patient.
A patient and fellow prisoner who Abdi says you learn to care about deeply. In his time as a volunteer so far, he has taken care of 2 who have died.
I'm from Somalia, so I witnessed death at a really young age. But this death is different. You know, that was traumatized death, I see, right? But this death is just more peaceful.
Peacefulness offering a new perspective to a man who has been in prison for more than a decade.
It made me more compassionate than I was.
James has been at the Maine State Prison even longer than Abdi.
When I first came to prison, I was 18 years old when I came to prison with a life plus 20 years sentence.
A sentence for murder and attempted murder. 2 tragic wrongs James says he is now trying to right.
You said that you're not the same person you were, when you were 18.
No, I'm not the same. My thoughts, the way I carry myself, everything that I do is try to help the fellow man back.
He says that's in part because of a new understanding he has of the value of life.
What gives us meaning in life?
It's an understanding he came to months ago.
What was my life all about?
In this classroom at the prison.
At the end of life, we start exploring these spiritual questions.
Holly Reed is a volunteer chaplain. She has been coming to the Maine State Prison since 2019, using her time in this life to talk about something much more difficult: death.
I just really fell in love with the group and with the men and the work that they were doing.
Holly teaches the select few inmates about things like spirituality and compassion, giving them tools to care for fellow residents who are sick or dying. These volunteers have chosen to be here after 5 years of following all the prison rules.
What are some of the unique things about dying in prison that might give people spiritual distress?
The results are nothing short of unexpected.
I see that the men that they care for are transformed by their care. It's really an unusual thing, especially in a place like prison, to lead with vulnerability and love.
I never really thought about dying. Coming from, Baltimore, Maryland, living a lifestyle that I lived, death was something that I never feared because death was always around me.
Now, death is still around James, but in a different way.
We got a team of guys that's right there by a person's side, so make a person feel comfortable when they're taking their last breath.
Many times, these volunteers personally know the patients they're caring for, having spent so much time together locked away.
Almost 19, 20 years now.
That's how long James has known 75-year-old Ronald Piskorski, who has been in the infirmary since last April.
How helpful have these guys been to you?
Oh, man. These guys, they help me in so many ways.
With a life sentence, Ronald knows he will likely die here.
Hospice care in prison, knowing that that's an option, is that something that's comforting to you if it ever came to that point? Yeah, yes. Why?
Oh, because it's people I know, and they helped me so much throughout the years. I see what they have done for other people that were in worse shape than myself. I say to myself, I hope I have them.
When somebody is to the point where they're thinking about taking the hospice class so they can volunteer, they're at a pivotal moment in their life.
Diane Carlson is the correctional chaplain at the Maine State Prison. For her, the story of redemption is a personal one.
Do you believe that people can fundamentally change?
Absolutely. I have changed immensely myself. 2 decades ago, I was an active addict.
Not being judgmental, right? We talked about that.
That unwavering sense of optimism is also what keeps Holly coming back, week after week, to teach the next class of prison hospice volunteers.
Everyone can change. Everyone has the potential to change. And if you provide an opportunity, it lets people step through the door, if they're able and if they want it.
A door not as real as this one, but in some ways more important, because it leads to internal peace after giving the gift of peace to someone dying.
For me, it's about humanity, being humane.
Now again, these prisoners are volunteers. They do not get paid for this work, and they go through 100 hours of training. The first 4 days center around medical education. You can read more about that and a special connection between Opti and James and one of their most recent hospice patients on our website and News Center Maine app. Brian and Samantha, back to you.
Chloe, some powerful stuff there. Thank you so much.